What is up, fellow anglers? It is no secret that forward-facing sonar has completely changed the game of fishing. We've been able to gain a lot of knowledge on the behavior of fish by seeing the way that they react to different baits that we throw in front of them. So a lot of different companies are coming out with baits that work particularly well for forward-facing sonar. So today I will be talking about the baits that Berkley just produced, and that is the finisher right here, the power switch, and the crudge. Obviously, any type of bait will work for forward-facing sonar, but there are baits that work particularly well. Those will be any kind of bait that you can fish throughout the entire water column, can get down to them quickly, especially if they're swimming by really quick. And any bait that you can keep in front of the fish's face for as long as you possibly can, just to keep it in that strike zone to try to get the best chance of getting a bite. So that's what they did for all three of these baits. You can fish these throughout the entire water column. And with that being said, I'll jump into the first bait. That'll be the finisher. I got two different colors and sizes. This bait comes in, I think, 4 different sizes. A 2.5 inch, 3 inch, 3.5, and a 4 1/4. I got the 3.5 inch in the black nose shiner color, and the perch color in 2.5 inch. So I'll show you guys on the bigger one, just so you guys can see the features better. So right here it is, basically just a jig head with a minnow on the back. But obviously it's all built together. This does have a top line tie. That'll help you guys fish this bait several different ways. You can dead stick it, vertically jig it with that top line tie, slowly jig it back to the boat, twitch it back to the boat, whatever you guys want to do. It's got that flat tail design on the back. When this thing falls, it'll fall in a spiral motion like your typical dying bait fish. But when you're throwing this thing, you're definitely going to want to throw it on your typical finesse setup. So your drop shot rod, or your finesse swim bait rod, anything like that. On a spinning rod would be ideal. This is a very darty bait, which is going to help you get some more bites and trigger those fish into biting. This is the only soft plastic forward-facing sonar optimized bait that Power Bait has come out with. So moving on from that is the finisher. There's 3 different sizes for that, a 2 inch, 2 3/4, and a 3.5. I got the 2 3/4 inch in the purple slime color, and the 2 inch in perch color. So this will fish very similar to the power switch, except it is a hard bait. There you go here. This one is a 1/2 ounce in the 2 3/4 size. Just like the power switch, it's got that top line tie, so you'll be able to fish this in very similar ways. When you're jerking this will be a very darty bait as well. And on the fall as well, it should do a spiral motion, and that back end will shimmy back and forth when it's falling. But this bait will also sink slower than the finisher, so if that's what you're looking for, then this bait is probably work best for you. It's got a flat bottom as well. And lastly, if you are getting bit on the power switch, but they're swiping at it in the back, they're missing it a little bit, definitely switch over to the finisher, just because they do fish very similar, and this one's got the back treble hook, so if they're just swiping at it, they'll at least get that back hook, you have a chance of landing that fish. All right, moving on to the last bait, probably the one I'm most excited about, just because I love jerk baits, but that is the crudge. Obviously, this is not your typical jerk bait. As you can see, the bill on this thing is completely upside down. So this bait will sink at about 1 foot per second, and it'll kind of fall like a big spoon would, where it would fall backwards and away from you. So if you're fishing some very deep water and you let your line out, this bait will end up being very far away from you, but that's actually a good thing. Gives you some more time to hook into that fish. But you can also use this to pull fish off a cover. You can fish it over the top of brush piles, pull it up. and fish right over the top of it to pull those fish out. When you twitch this rod, this bait will jump through the water column extremely quickly and up the water column. Obviously, it's got the 2 trebles on it. I think this is also a 1/2 ounce. But overall, this bait and both these baits can fish extremely well throughout the entire water column. You can get them down to any fish at any depth at a relatively quick pace, which is why all these baits are optimized for forward-facing sonar. Again, any bait will work for forward-facing sonar, but these are just qualities that we're looking for when using these kind of baits. And that is the last bait that Berkley produced that is optimized for forward-facing sonar. If you guys have any other baits that you've been using on your forward-facing sonar that you think works really well, please drop that down in the comments down below. I'd be interested in seeing what your answers are. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.